We are 2/3 of the way through conference with 6 games left, and maybe the toughest one out of the 6 remaining. I mean, there's some tough teams, but Arkansas is definitely right up there. They're a game ahead of us in conference. They're playing really well. They've got really talented players, as they always, as any Calipari coach teams do. Akuff's, shoot, if you're looking at SEC games only, I guess he's on pace to be the first player since they started tracking all the stats to lead the league in scoring and assists in SEC games only. So that would be quite a feat considering all the NBA players that come out of the SEC. So he's obviously talented. We're going to have to do a great job on him. He's been able to get going here. He makes tough shots. He passes the ball well. He guards pretty well too. So, I think Cal's done a really good job getting him playing at a really high level. And we got to make sure we're, locked into him. But it's not just him. They've got Malik Thomas has been playing well. If Wagner's back, I mean, he's NBA talent, particularly on the defensive end. Billy Richmond is an unbelievable athlete, defender. They've got interior play. They've got athletes. Brazil's looking like, way back after his freshman, sophomore year when they're projecting him to be an NBA player, he's kind of back playing what everybody thought he was going to look like, and he looks healthy, making shots, making plays at the rim. Pringle's one of the best shot blockers in the country. We had him here with us. He's active. He's tough. He can rebound, block shots. He's a lob target. So you kind of go through their personnel. It's good, and we're hoping we're getting healthier. Taylor, it's kind of day to day. He didn't practice yesterday at all. Today we had a real light practice that he went through parts of it, and we'll see how he's feeling tomorrow. It'd be great to get him though, because we need some length and athleticism in this game. So, we'd be great if we get him back and London play well, and our front court's able to have a little bit more length. But this team's good. I mean, they don't turn the ball over much. They're lead the league in assist turnover ratio. They're second in the SEC in fast break points. They're third in the country in fast break points, and most of it comes off them creating turnovers or their block shot. So our offense is going to be tied to our defense in this game as much as any game since the Florida one. I mean, you go back to the Florida game, we had all those live ball turnovers that they scored off of and didn't really give ourselves a chance at all. We can't do the same thing. We got to take care of the ball. We got to keep them out of transition. And then, we're going to have to rebound the ball as well, too.
Learon's shooting almost 40% from 3 this year. Just how have you seen him improve in that area from last year and grow in his confidence?
Yeah, he put a lot of work in, when he tested in the draft, they had a few things they came back with. One was his shooting, his leadership. So he's proven he can shoot. He worked on a shot all summer. He's been pretty good. He's hit timely ones. So, he's always been a confident kid with his scoring ability, but he's earned the right to shoot the ball with confidence with how much work he's put in the offseason and continues to put in now.
Sticking with Learon, just what do you need from him in this matchup against Akuff, and how have you seen him approach big-time matchups like this?
Yeah, so good question. We need him to be a lead on the defensive end, which he's shown he's capable of, but a lot more last year than this year. So we need him to really be great defensively, and then we need him to take care of the ball. I mean, some of these big guard matchups that he's had, he has not done a very good job taking care of the ball. If you go look at our losses, he's got too many early turnovers, and then he hasn't been what we need him to be on defense in all these matchups either. So he doesn't need to outscore Akuff. If that happens. He needs to lead his team to a win. That's taking care of the ball, making sure his team gets great shots, making sure the team plays great defense, which includes him playing great individual defense. That's what we need out of him.
You mentioned Pringle in your opening. Just how have you seen him kind of grow and develop going into this last year of eligibility?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not in there on a day-to-day basis, but from what I can see in the games, I mean, seems like he's got his energy back. I mean, when he was here, he's a great teammate. All his teammates loved him. It seems like he's got that positive energy going, and he's back to playing, having fun, playing athletic. So he's having a pretty good year for him. I mean, he's played well for them in some of their bigger games. So, he's gotten a little bit better at the stuff he's great at. He's pretty similar player though, but just a little better at the stuff that he was good at. I feel like it's not like they asking him to, handle the ball, score a bunch in the post. He's somewhat of a similar role, but a couple of years older, more mature. He's playing pretty well for him.
I know you've told us before that one of the things that you chart in practice is where guys' feet are when they're shooting three-pointers. But based on that, who do you trust the most shooting from, let's say 24 feet, 26 feet, whatever, a significant distance behind the line?
Yeah, so we chart on the line, off the line, basically anything back like you're talking about, past NBA range would be off the line. I'd have to look at the numbers to give you an exact answer off the top of my head. Who my gut tells me to trust. Holloway, I feel like he's in range within about 28 to 30 feet, and he's comfortable shooting them like there. Reitel's got pretty good range back there. I think those two right off the top are probably the two I trust the most. And, I mean, Philon and Houston, maybe not quite as deep, maybe Amari in that category, but I feel like Holloway and then Reitzel got some pretty good range. They made some big shots from pretty deep, which I don't mind them shooting them because they shoot them pretty good. And the deeper they shoot them, the further out you got to guard them. So you look at an NBA floor. I mean, everybody thinks it's a bigger floor. No, it's not a bigger floor. They're 94 by 52, but it's a lot more spaced on the floor. They're able to shoot deeper. Obviously, the lane being widened, and they actually call 3 seconds in the lane. And the NBA, when they're in there, helps make the floor look wider too. But the fact that they have shooting ability from 26, 27, 28 feet also widens the floor out. So if we can shoot that deep and we can space that deep and it widens the floor up for us even more, I'm all for it.
Hey, Coach, I know you touched on this in your open. Obviously, Calipari's coached a lot of really good guards. Do you think it's a possibility that Darius Akuff could be the best out of all of them?
I mean, that would be you think about the guards that he's coached. I mean, he coached Derrick Rose, who I believe just got his jersey retired with the Bulls. I believe was NBA League MVP. He coached Devin Booker, who's, I believe, the highest paid player in the NBA right now. He's coached a lot of really good players. So if Akuff becomes the first player in the SEC to lead the league in scoring and assists in SEC games, I mean, some of those Kentucky guards he's coached, I mean, I just listened to it. There's about 15 more that have probably been NBA All-Stars. It seemed like he had a third of the NBA All-Stars in 1 year or a half or whatever it was. Like, he's coached some really good players. So that'd probably be a better question for him. I don't want to take anything away from Darius because he's playing really well this year. But, man, he's had league MVPs at the guard spot. So it's pretty elite company to be in.
Coach, looking at how the season's progressing, you talked about 2/3 through. How huge would a top 4 seed going into the SEC tournament be for this team?
Yeah, I mean, when we've had it, the only 2 times we've won the SEC tournament since we've been here, we were actually the number 1 seed. So top 4 seed, it makes things a lot easier to win it. When you got a top 4 seed, you've got this 4 seeds get the byes and all the way to Friday. So it'd be great. It's going to take some work. Arkansas, I believe, is the only top 25 team, at least at home. So, shout out to our crowd and student section. Let's make sure for the last top 25 game coming into Coleman, obviously, one of the other 2 could play their way into it, but the likelihood of that happening doesn't look real high right now. So we for sure have a top 25 team coming into Coleman tomorrow night. Let's make sure it's packed and we're ready to go, because winning this game would go a long ways. This team's a game ahead of us in the standings. We win, we're tied. We'd have the tiebreaker. It's the only time we play them. So, it's going to be, Florida's up there. Arkansas, Kentucky's done a great job playing their way back into the to the mix here at the top. I believe they're in a top 4 seed right now. Tennessee, who we don't have the tiebreaker on. Vanderbilt, who we don't have the tiebreaker on. So if we're going to try to be a top 4 seed, this game's going to go a long ways towards getting there. So let's make sure that the crowd's out, everybody's ready to roll, and make sure our team's playing the best they can be here at home.